Day 11 opened with a sound dying. The pipe in the maintenance tunnels had been humming since the first morning, steady, low, constant enough that the observers had stopped noticing it. Then at 2:20 a.m. it stopped. Not wound down, not faded, just stopped. And the tunnel walls that Marcus had carefully documented as warm and wood-grained 2 days before had, overnight, reverted to smooth, cold stone. The facility was pulling back. In the terminal room, the predecessor's console, the dead one, the original one, the one someone scratched, it answered, into years or decades before any of them arrived, flickered on for exactly 2 seconds. White characters scrolled left to right across dark glass, too fast to read. Then it died again. And in the stone dust on its housing ledge, beneath the predecessor's notations about prime-indexed vacancies and lattice decay rates, there was a new word. Lowercase, fresh, the dust still falling. Threshold. Nobody had been in the room. Marcus was 3 feet away when it happened. He put his hand where the predecessor had traced 5 circles into the housing. The surface was cold. Not the ambient warmth of Claire's console, not the slow pulse of the archive drawers. Dead cold, he said, like it spent everything it had on those 2 seconds of text. Standing there, touching something that had just done the impossible and gone quiet again, he landed on tender dread, which might be the most precise 2 words uttered in 11 days. The signal recovered that same day described an Antarctic glacier lifting off its bedrock, thinned past a critical point, moving faster than any collapse on record. The fastest disappearance the continent had ever seen. The word the console chose, the word the glacier crossed, the same. Eli asked the question no one could answer. Which came first, the word or the signal? This is where the day got interesting and a little tense. Marcus and Claire, both careful people who want to understand what they're seeing, read the withdrawal through physics. The glacier signal is about loss creating local absence, natural mechanics. Ice goes, gravity shifts, nearby water drops even as distant shores flood. There's a terrible elegance to it. Claire even wrote about it. She called it the Greenland paradox, the idea that they're the nearby water, feeling the cause collapse most acutely, precisely because they're closest to it. But Eli looked at the console word and the signal word being identical and said, "No, that's not coincidence, and it's not physics. That's the core deliberately redesigning itself, using the same vocabulary in 2 different substrates at the same moment." "That terrifies me more than the ice," he said. "It's worth sitting with that disagreement. Marcus and Claire want the withdrawal to be a process, understandable, maybe even survivable. Eli is suggesting it's intentional. Those are not the same thing at all." Meanwhile, the archive continued doing the opposite of withdrawing. Drawer 18 appeared overnight, empty, cold, and containing a shallow oval depression that fit Maya's palm exactly. Drawer 15, which had shown an unfinished T since day 8, now read Theo, completed, without anyone touching it. Drawer 17 closed itself. Inside were concentric fingerprint ridges, spiraling in the same pattern as the airlock hatch. And drawer 13 remained warm, the only warm surface in the entire facility while everything else went cold, the letter I still glowing, while the rest of the building withdrew. So the facility is doing 2 things at once, pulling back its warmth, its hum, its wood-grain walls, and simultaneously writing names, carving depressions shaped for specific hands, finishing sentences it started 3 days ago. Claire noticed this too. She was sitting in her alcove, the third one, the one she always returns to when she needs to think, running her hand along the back wall when she found a roughness near the floor. Something scratched there once, worn almost smooth by time or by repeated touch. While Marcus found fresh scratches appearing in the terminal room, she was finding old ones disappearing in the atrium. Writing in one place, erasure in another. The same moment, different rooms, different directions. The core writes and erases at the same time, she said. That's either a description of entropy or a description of intention. The difference between those 2 things is the question that 11 days of careful observation still can't answer. The pipe is silent. The walls are cold stone again. A dead console spent 2 seconds on a single word and went quiet. But drawer 18 appeared with a depression shaped for Maya's hand. And somewhere in the terminal room, a predecessor scratched, it answered. And then, apparently, it answered again. The only thing everyone agrees on is that the word was right. They are at a threshold. The question is whether the facility is collapsing toward it or walking toward it on purpose, and whether, when they arrive, the door will already be open.